Good morning, guys. This is Leon again. Now we're working on a '04 BMW X5 6-cylinder 3.0. Sorry for the mess. I know I got a bunch of tools, but I shouldn't have a bunch of tools. But it's raining yesterday, and I don't have a garage, so I have to cover everything and then just get out before everything gets wet. All right. So what we got here is this thing was leaking oil insanely, like so much oil. Um, the gasket right here, this is for the oil filter assembly. It's like an O-ring shape gasket that goes around here. Right here was leaking, so oil was going here, it was dripping around and going around the crankshaft and on top of here, and it will drip down. So it will drip on the other side because the engine is tilted. And it was just a mess. I mean, it was like back there and here and all this area right here, and all the components were completely soaked. Everything was nasty. Power steering pump was gross. Like, I mean, absolutely gross. He was just black and layers of oil. Let me actually show you. Let me see if the camera can get it. You see that little corner right there that I missed to completely wash? Okay, multiply that by 5 times, and that's how the whole engine bay was. Anyway, so since you're here already and you're gonna replace all this stuff, and you're basically dissecting the engine for fun, of course, you wanna take your four bolts, your 10 millimeters, because it's such a pain to take them out anyway, and just take them out and replace the water pump. Might as well. Don't cheap out right now, because you will complain a lot later when you have to actually take radiator out, fan clutch with the fan, water pump pulley, thermostat assembly, belts, alternator, power steering. Oh man, it's just a lot of stuff in here. So anyway, so as you can see, I have the oil assembly pretty clean. It's no longer just nastiness all over the place. I also clean the radiator, because it was full of hair and leaves and trash and so much stuff. I'm sorry for the shakiness, but it's my phone. It's my potato camera. But as you guys can see now, this puppy is clean now. It's not all gross. I know you guys maybe wanted a before and after, but I don't have that, because I was actually working on it. And so there she is, clean. And the alternator, holy shit, the alternator was just gorgeous. It was absolutely nasty. This guy was probably the most nastiest alternator that I've ever seen, especially coming out of a BMW. Those cars are actually pretty good all the time. This guy was, I would say, 3 or 4 or 5 times nastier than what it is right now. And I kind of forget this one, so I just washed this one and rinse it. I didn't have time to actually baby it. And yeah, here are the rest of the components. This car was given a code, check engine light, you know, that light that is most famous than anybody. It was saying thermostat, coolant temperature below operational range. Please help me. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to warm up this car. I keep throwing fuel at it and it doesn't warm up. That's basically what the code is telling you. Now, I know most of you guys would like to see a how to do video. Unfortunately, I don't do those kind of videos yet, or I mean, I haven't done a video like that, just because if you're working on a car that is so intricate like this, I'm pretty sure you at least know how to turn a wrench and take pictures of the stuff that you're taking out, and then how to put it back and all kind of stuff. um, it's a lot of responsibility how to teach someone how to take all this stuff. It's not just on liability for, let's say, perhaps like my customer, but it's also a responsibility on cost. Oh yeah, big cost. I mean, you have your map sensor right there that is over $100, just that. And then you have a bunch of components like this water, like this electronic water pump. For those of you who wonder what that is, that's a water pump. And you just got the stuff throughout this whole thing that they're just expensive, you know. And I think just a simple thing that you will forget, or if you don't clean things properly, you don't brush them or clean them or degrease them properly, when you put them back, it won't be worth all your work, because it won't seal. And if you forget a hair in there, or a piece of the old gasket that is brittle and sharp, it just gets stuck in there and you didn't clean it properly, when you put it back, it's not going to actually seal, no matter how much you tied it. So maybe later on, or maybe by request, depending what kind of cars I get, I will be putting more different videos, and maybe I will try to post a how-to videos. Yeah, but so far, I mean, just get some of these. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Anyway, gunk, heavy degreaser, just put it in here, let it soak for 10 minutes. Get your parts brush cleaner, just clean it, just brush it pretty good, let it sit for another 10 minutes, rinse it with water. Make sure you don't get it on electrical components. I mean, don't go and get the fire department water hose, because that's a lot of water. I mean, use the gray mask pretty well, and make sure that you don't put a lot of water on electrical connectors. As you can see, this thing is pretty dry, and it was raining last night, so I try not to put a lot of water, even though you had to put water in there with pressure to throw everything. But like these things right here, these are oil return and feed and all that kind of stuff. So if you get water in there when you start your engine, you're most likely gonna put water in there. And you know, water and oil doesn't mix, and they don't have good lubrication together inside the engine bay. So you don't want to put water inside here. Do not put water inside here, because you get yourself in trouble, and you don't need it. I mean, even if your neighbor is a salesman and he can get you an engine for $300, you just don't have that need for an expensive. You can just prevent yourself from getting there. Anyway, the AC compressor well was okay, but okay is not enough, you know. So I told my customer that I was gonna get the AC compressor to crankshaft pulley belt, and the other belt that goes around here with all the components, with all the accessories, just because they were starting to get brittle and crack, and it's not the easiest car to replace a belt anyway. So might as well just go ahead and do it right now, so I don't have to charge her an arm and a leg later on just to do, or anybody else for that matter. Not anybody else, so anybody else don't have to charge an arm and a leg just to get them replaced. Now, when you get in your radiator, this is a common thing that I see on Beamers. Well, especially on this kind of Beamers. You see this thing right here is your thermostat at your water tank on the radiator. Now, that thing is expensive though. It's about $100. I know, right? Beamer, what a surprise. And it has a plastic cap, and it goes just right there. And of course, what it does is regulates coolant. As you can see, this one, it goes right here for your transmission cooler. And it has a vane for that, and it has a bypass from the radiator to, you know, so when the engine is cold, it knows when to and when not to give coolant to the engine and to that cooler, you know, or to warm it up easier, faster. So we already have all the parts. I'm gonna upload a video once I put everything together. I mean, it's not rocket science to take these engines out. I know they're Beamers and you can barely get your hands in here. But once you take things out of the way, they're very easy cars to work, like Audi or Mercedes. You know, as long as it's not a Kia or a Jaguar that you have to change an air filter on a Type R or something like that. Anyway, they're pretty easy. You guys take care. Be blessed. Any questions, please drop it on the comment box. Thank you very much.